So Sydney Sweeney finally just came out and addressed the whole controversy around the stupid ad that everybody, all those stupid people, went crazy over because they said it's racist and it's bad for a white person to say, "I've got good jeans," even though the ad wasn't on her jeans, it was on the jeans she was wearing. It was just a play on words.
Sydney Sweeney has finally come out and addressed her American Eagle ad and the views that some people saw behind it. Was this necessary? No. Does the left forgive her? No. Let's talk about it. Yeah, you better.
It's always those select few woke left retarded people or far right retarded people that do all the fucking crazy damage out there.
Yeah, you better. Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Yes, today we're talking about Sydney Sweeney again. Can't run from this girl. Can't live with her, can't live without her, according to the left here. Now, Sydney Sweeney recently did an interview where she addressed her American Eagle ad. Now, you know the ad, Sydney Sweeney has great genes. The left ran with it and said this was a eugenicist ad. This was a white supremacist ad. This was a Nazi ad saying that the blonde-haired, blue-eyed, white-skinned Sydney Sweeney is apparently the white beauty standard for all Americans. And that's what American Eagle was apparently trying to say. Of course, we know that's not true. They were simply saying...
People who think that's what the ad was about, these people should, question themselves. Maybe there's something racist and wrong with how their brains fucking function, because an ad on fucking jeans on a white woman and you go this crazy over it. I didn't see that many people go crazy over the Ukrainian girl who got, shot in the bus by a, was he an illegal migrant or something? Nobody said anything about that, but everybody's going crazy about this. Like, it's been since July. It's been like, what, half a year almost?
And Sydney Sweeney has great genes. Sydney Sweeney has had great genes probably all of her life, and she's been reminded every single day since she stepped into Hollywood by American people everywhere who wants to see her.
Just how I've been reminded my whole life that I'm fucking ugly, disgusting. I mean, I have a receding hairline since I was like 15, 16. I've had a beard since I was 15, 16. That's
But of course, Sydney Sweeney has come to respond to this, which you just should never ever do. And for a moment, we thought she wasn't going to do it because we had that now famous, infamous for some interview where a woman gave her the opportunity to respond and to address the backlash. And Sydney Sweeney said, "When I have something to say, I'll say it." And she became a meme that everybody was sharing that essentially said, we're not putting up with the woke left anymore. We're not going to pander to them. We're not going to placate to them. We're not going to allow them to thrust narratives onto us.
She was so goated on that interview. She was basically like, hey, listen, if that's your opinion, you're entitled to your opinion. But not always your opinion is what reality is, okay? Maybe it's more of your brainwashing and your political brainwashing of what society is supposed to be or is not supposed to be. And maybe you should look out for yourself a little bit more and, maybe go to the gym, maybe, put on some makeup instead of just, crying about people looking good online and saying they're bigoted or something.
But here's what Sydney Sweeney has said recently. Quote, "I was honestly surprised by the reaction. I did it because I loved the jeans and I love the brand. I don't support the views some chose to connect to the campaign. Many have assigned motives and labels to me that just aren't true." Now let's pause there for a second. I don't support the views some people chose to connect to the campaign. I'll tell you why this is a needless statement, okay? Because the views connected to this campaign were views of white supremacy and eugenicism, but from who? The American left, okay? It was leftists who were promoting that narrative, who were pushing that onto...
I saw it on Reddit, on European subreddit as well, okay? Everything that happens in the US, political-wise, Europe is very much influenced by it. So if the left-leaning people in Europe, in the US hate Sydney, now all of a sudden, everybody in the left in Europe has to hate it. It's like, the more far left or far right you go, the more cultish it seems like it is.
Ad campaign. It wasn't the real message being shared by the campaign. It wasn't like the right was championing this campaign as some sort of neo-Nazi bit of propaganda. None of that was happening. So there's no need to come out and say, I do not support the views that were connected to this campaign, because the connection was created out of thin air. It was fabricated. She goes on to say, anyone who knows me knows that I'm always trying to bring people together. I'm against hate and divisiveness. In the past, my stance has been to never respond to negative or positive press, but recently I've come to realize that my silence regarding this issue has only widened the divide, not closed it. So I hope this new year brings more focus on what
This
connects
poor
us
woman,
instead
man.
of
Well,
what
she's
divides
rich.
us.
What
Now, this
am
is
I
a
saying?
classic sort of publicist-written PR statement where you come in and just to settle the score of everything, you give a sort of amorphous kind of apology, not really. I just want everybody to
Yep.
love one another and
Yep.
unify and coexist. And does that work for this situation? Apparently not, because the left is responding to her now and saying that they don't forgive her and that she should have done this sooner, or it's way too late, or they know that she's a white supremacist. And the right is
Here's what I would do if I was on Sydney's situation. Hey, listen, I'm not a genius with, pro advertisers and pro marketers and lawyers around me, and I'm not a fucking, celebrity. But imagine I was a big YouTuber, right? What I would do is ride the hate on the left or the right, whatever, right? If the left hates me or the right hates me, the opposite side is probably gonna agree with my opinions, right? Or neutral people are probably gonna agree with my opinions. This shit is gonna give me so much publicity, and I know a lot of people say not all publicity is, good publicity. Well, it depends on what it is. This is not really that crazy. There's so much crazy stuff happening all around the world. Like in Sudan, more people have died recently in that war than the Ukraine-Russia war and the Palestine-Israel war. More combined, more than both those wars. Nobody in the U.S. from the left is talking about all of this because they're not educated enough. Oh, I'm not even seeing people on the right talk about that. And here they are saying all of this is bad, all of this is Nazi propaganda. Hey, I'm gonna write it and make a profit out of it, okay? I'm gonna write it.
Now telling her that there was no reason to make this statement and that she's bowing to the woke mob. So you literally cannot win. And where she says, I used to never respond to negative or positive press, you should have probably kept it that way. Because I feel like this is just a lose-lose response for anybody who's in this situation. Now, do I care about this response? No, because I knew that Sydney Sweeney was not a white supremacist. I knew she wasn't a neo-Nazi, and I knew she didn't support eugenics. But now, here we are because
99% of people who are called neo-Nazis and white supremacists are probably not even close to being that. And I know most people who are left-leaning, are not these crazy far-left, like overly woke, retarded people. I know there is, because everything gets exaggerated online. That's what the sad reality is.
We live in a world now where a response is thrust upon you.
Yeah.
You found yourself in controversy, a controversy that we've created. And now that we've created this thing out of thin air, you must respond to this fictitious thing. It's unbelievable. Now, I'm going to read you some responses from the left. They say, when I have something to say, people will hear 3 movies bomb in a row. I have something to say. They're essentially taking ownership over the fact that Sydney Sweeney is flopping in the box office.
So Sydney Sweeney tells people that she doesn't support the views that people connected her American Eagle campaign to. I was honestly okay. Guys, a failing or succeeding career has nothing to do if she was bad or not. You going crazy over this and over exaggerating what reality was is what's destroying this woman's. Are these recent movies? I know nothing about Sydney Sweeney. If her movies are flopping because of these kinds of people, these fucking people, man. They're
insinuating that she now has something
overly
to say
political
because it's
people are
affecting
ruining the internet.
her
I'm
career.
sorry.
Now, I don't know about you, but I see Sydney Sweeney everywhere. I believe that she is booked and busy. I can't speak to what her schedule looks like a year down the line, and maybe she knows that and she's aware of that, and maybe people are saying, I don't want to touch Sydney Sweeney because of this controversy. And that's bringing about this PR statement. But do I think the left is responsible for anything impacting Sydney Sweeney's career? No, I do not. This is a group of people that was never going to have full-fledged support of Sydney Sweeney to begin with.
She is a representation
of everything they hate, and she's found herself in other scandals before regarding Trump and Republicanism. You name it, she's experienced it. So do I think the left is responsible for any sort of downfall in her career? No, and I'm seeing Sydney everywhere. Now, another person responds, and this is Evan, who we all know on X.
Like my social media is mostly like drama stuff, not really positive stuff, and my Instagram is just for Rottweilers, just dogs everywhere, and a few dark memes. That's
Total
it.
victory for this woman. You know, the woman that everybody's...
Who's not on Instagram and seeing dark fucked up memes? Like, sometimes I go on Instagram early in the morning and I'm like, oh, another guy just got fucking destroyed in a car crash? Fuck Instagram, man. You know what I mean?
She tries to push this response onto Sydney Sweeney, and now Sydney Sweeney's given the response. It is a total victory for that woman.
Yeah.
women all over the US just like her, all over the West just like her, because we've now learned that even when we think somebody is going to stand 10 toes down on not giving a response, when somebody says, hey, if I have something to talk about, I'm going to talk about it, I guess it doesn't work. We can force a response out of you. Another person responds, too late, boo, you kind of weird. I don't know. Which is just a representation of the idea that no matter what you do, no matter how you apologize, no matter...
Most people who did all these tweets, if you actually take the time to check out these guys' profiles, maybe they have TikToks, maybe they have, you know, their Instagrams, maybe they have YouTube channels, you'll notice there's a lot of weird, crazy stuff for a lot of these people out there, okay? I mean, being disinvested online, hating on somebody for such a stupid fucking reason, when there's so many problems happening in the US and this is what they focus on very, like, the dumbest, least important, least impactful stuff happening in advertisement. Like, I'm seeing ads with corn, I'm seeing ads with explicit content of crazy shit. There's online censorship, and now on the whole internet, on all of social media wants to take your fucking ID, and this is what these people focus on.
No matter how you bow down, these people are never going to accept you. Once the immediate narrative has sort of gotten its claws into each of them, you are
they
stuck
want to see
in
your
that
fall
position as a white supremacist,
so they feel
as
happy,
a neo-Nazi, as a fascist, as
in
a
their
right-winger,
like disgusting,
all of time, no matter what
sad
you say
lives.
in the aftermath. Another person responds, her team trying to backtrack after they realize the audience she catered to doesn't support her projects. It's too late. You're already the face of MAGA. Goodness, and one more.
I'm so disappointed.
Reminder that she was given the easiest out ever in that GQ interview and purposely played dumb. You'll witness here what we always talk about on this channel. It's that when the woke mob comes after you and tries to paint a narrative, they project that narrative onto you, there's really nothing you can do to find yourself out of that situation, out of that conflict. So there's no use in pandering or catering to these people. And maybe Sydney Sweeney is doing this because her career is on the downtrend. I doubt it. Maybe Sydney Sweeney is doing this because she feels like she has created division and she wants to mend things. I doubt it.
So here's what I think. Here's why I think Sydney Sweeney is actually, you know, addressing this and coming out. She is a model, right? And there's a lot of, you know, companies online, any kinds of companies, whether it's, you know, food companies or companies for clothes or whatever, right? A lot of them are very popular for leftist people. A lot of them are very popular for woke people, and they get a lot of their marketing from those kinds of people, which is great. It's just fine. Their niche is those people. They don't want to look like they're, you know, sponsoring somebody or using a model who's, you know, who's known as being a neo-Nazi, even though that's not what she is. And because of that, I don't know if it's someone from their team, like her management, whatever it is, right? I don't know how modeling fucking works. They probably told her, hey, you gotta come out with this. You gotta, you know, be professional, say this statement here, because a lot of stuff might go down, as in a lot of brand deals, a lot of companies that we work with, for you, who you model with. A lot of these don't want to have the image of, hey, these guys are sponsoring this neo-Nazi or this the right-leaning or this whatever. Right? This is my guess. I might be wrong, but I hope her whole career isn't going down just because of this. And it's like, you really think she thought of this whole Sydney Sweeney's jeans line for the ad? It's probably not her. It was probably a whole team of the American Eagle company, of maybe her management as a model. There's so many people involved in that. There's no way she is the one. If anybody should be getting a backlash for being a neo-Nazi bad person, it's the management and the marketing team of maybe Sydney, and most likely even more for the American Eagle. I'm not saying any of them are fucking Nazis or whatever. Obviously they're not. But hey, that's my guess. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel and like the video, and I'll be seeing you in the next video.